Kiko, je sais que tu parles français.
Bonjour, ça va?
Ça va et toi?
Ah,
You live in Finland, right? I interview a lot of Finnish bands, and they are always inspired by nature. As a new Finnish guy, is it a source of inspiration for Kiko?
completely. Imagine a Brazilian guy walking on the sea.
On the ice?
Yeah, it's like this is impossible to imagine that. And also the lakes and yeah, the nature. Coming from Brazil, have beautiful, of course, beautiful nature in Brazil, but it's so different here. And the darkness and the ice and the cold, and also in the summertime, it's different. Like all the seasons are very clear, right? Um, the fall, so it is very inspiring for sure. And then the because you don't have that many people here, and then also the way the society was able to keep those pockets of forests in between the buildings and the malls and the roads. It's amazing how they were able to build the whole city, keeping the nature.
So you live in Helsinki, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And my feeling is that the guys are in Finland are super cool. We can feel that there is of course Helsinki is a capital, but compared to Rio or Paris, the stressful life, it's totally different, right?
Oh yeah, that's another thing there. Yeah, is more relaxed in this term. Yeah, if you compare, I was born in Rio, grew up in São Paulo, so two big cities. Then I was living in LA, which is not different. I've been many times to Paris, which is crazy as well. So yes, so when you compare all those cities to Helsinki or Finland, it's way more relaxed. Yeah, so it is good to be here.
I interviewed you the last time 4 years ago for your previous album. I feel you very relaxed, maybe more relaxed, right?
Well, 4 years ago, we were like living the pandemic times. I mean, everybody had to be relaxed at home, but it was not very relaxed in general, right? For the whole, the whole entire population of this planet. But yeah, no, it's yeah, I think it's very important for us to be, balanced in life, so we can keep doing what you love to do. We can keep, fixing the problems that everyday life bring to us, So yeah, and try to keep a smile when giving an interview.
Speaking about Sao Paulo, I had Andreas Kisser in interview 2 weeks ago in Paris, Zenith for the farewell tour. What do you think about this farewell tour?
They have 40 years, right?
Yeah.
Amazing, successful band, and I see it's not the youth is dying. I think it's more like you have another life. Let's say if you're 50 years old, you're gonna live until you're 100, and then it's like, what can I do, for the next half of my life? I think it's more like this. I think it's more this feeling like I made it, the whole thing in Sepultura, it's amazing, but what can I do for my future, So it kind of connects with my decision to leave Megadeth,
Yeah.
So like I did 9 years of Megadeth touring. It was amazing, great band, great guys, etc., etc. And then you have some situations in life that is like you start reflecting. Do I want to be another 10 years touring half of the year, playing those songs, and then start reflecting who you want to be, who you are, and then what's the next step? And then you realize that you have the freedom to decide, because I can. And then, so that decision, I think for Sepultura might be the same. They can do that. Maybe and then everything is open for the future. Maybe they come back, in 10 years, in 2 years, in 10, 20 years, But I think open up, saying like, okay, it's a stop, and opens another path, even like mentally, you're like, okay, I don't need to be doing another album or do another tour. Everybody understood is a stop, is a farewell. So now let's see what happens. A lot of people do the sabbatical year, sabbatical times, So if you can, why not?
Yes, and of course it's about freedom.
Yeah, yes, but it's hard to stop. We have as you mentioned, soccer. We have Pelé, right? Pelé, Brazilian, the athlete, century, the best athlete of the century. So Pelé was always an example, like when he quit soccer, and he was in his peak, right?
Yeah.
Then he came back and played in the U.S. for a while, but he was like at his peak, and then decided to quit, which was weird in a way, but it gives an example that sometimes it's good to stop when you're at your best. So
Yes.
that's the last image. The people don't see you like going down or doing mistakes um, so yeah, but it's hard to do that because I mean, if you're at your peak, so you might think like, oh, this is gonna be for another 5 years, another 10 years, and then uh, so you always believe that you can keep doing something, but it's never the case. So bands or artists, sometimes it's good to give a break. I think another example would be Miles Davis. I think he stopped for 6 years in the 70s. So sometimes like that break gives you different perspective. Miles Davis, when he came back very different, with different approach, and it was super successful during the 80s. So yes, it is a thing to stop. I didn't stop. I'm releasing a new album. So
Yeah.
so, but sometimes it crossed my mind. But now it's like this album, Fear of Mind, it was composed during the Megadeth time. I was
Yes.
composing, even recording the rhythm guitars and drums, etc. Was during the Megadeth, in between the tours, and then just the final uh, guitar recordings and mixing and artwork, the whole thing, and now the release. Now it's like during the no Megadeth year, right? So um, yeah, so I think I didn't have the time to think about stopping. I
Yes.
don't think about stopping actually.
But I'm glad that I saw you several times with Megadeth, and I think it was a great era for Megadeth.
Oh,
Seeing
thank you.
the four, and know Dirk for years and years, and it was a great pleasure to see you live. But let's talk about this new Kiko album. Did you write or record the album with the other guys from Angra, Philippe and Bruno?
Yeah, so the idea is like I compose the stuff in the computer, electronic drums, tune tracks, and then uh, create the demos. Was me, Adair, the producer, and then we create basically the whole songs and showing some of the demos to Bruno, the drummer, Bruno Valverde, and then he could send some material as well. And then when the songs were done, so I sent everything to Bruno. He did a pre-production, recorded some stuff for me to see his approach, and then we did all remotely. So it was not like good old style of being in a room playing the songs together. So it's really made in the computer. And then also when the drums were ready, I sent to Felipe to record the bass, and they are also finishing the solos and the keyboards on here, in my studio. So it's a kind of a remote process. It's different than when you have a band. Then you kind of get together and try to compose together. This kind of feeling didn't happen, not because I don't want. It's just because of the how busy we are, everybody playing. And I love the guys, the way they play. I think the both Bruno and Philippe, they are like the best musicians I know. So that's and then they're my friends as well, and they're willing to open their time to record my music. So I have to be grateful for that, and also because they're like the best. It's very hard to think about the other musicians, to be very honest, you know, which is it becomes a problem actually, you know, because they're,
Did
they're so good and they do it so easily, and they know my music because we played live my other albums, so they understand my music. So it's easier. This back and forth, the flow is easier somehow. So it facilitates the whole process because it's not easy to create the music or to even to do the whole effort of doing a full album by yourself.
Are they totally free to, or do you give them?
They are totally free. Now the thing is, like, I have a demo, so they are not really free because there's a demo to follow, but they're totally free to suggest something. Yeah, I why don't we do a groove here? I don't like much this part. Why don't you cut this part? They're free to say those things. Of course, I always consider, because I respect them. And then sometimes I have a vision for the song, and then I might say, no, I really like a simple part here. But that's what I'm saying. Like, we kind of share the same taste, so we don't have this arguments of I hate this part. This doesn't happen.
Hmm,
It's very collaborative.
okay. Um, about the concept of this album, it's about artificial intelligence, right?
Mhm.
It's funny because there are several moods in this album, several atmospheres. I like also in Point of No Return, the beginning of the song. You shred the guitar like a car engine,
Yeah, yeah.
which is pretty new. I love the idea. So it's about the artificial intelligence in our modern world, right?
Yeah, so the idea of the name theory of mind, it is a term that you find in psychology. You
Hmm.
know, the capability of the human beings to understand each other, to understand our feelings and beliefs, and all that. So that kind of makes us uh, this animal that can conquer the world, right? So we can live in society, we can understand others. Uh, and is a brain is a skill that the brain has, right? So I had to read about this because I was facing understand at home facing. I need to. I heard this term, and then I was reading about it, etc. Then I was kind of comparing to my when I was young, as well as a child, and the behaviors of other people. So they might have this theory of mind in different levels. Um, but then I was like, the whole discussion um, in the world would be artificial intelligence and how this new technology can destroy our jobs. And then when you're making music, you're like playing and trying to get an idea, and then you can go to a website and press enter, and then the full song is ready. So
Hmm.
that's right. That's very scary in a way, but I still believe that the this the way we just a second, because I hear my voice coming back. So like I get it. Oh my! I'm listening myself with a delay here. So, anyways, but let's keep doing. Uh, um, so, so I was reading about the AI, and I found the term theory of mind as well, because the last development of the AI is when AI is able also to when AI has the theory of mind, like understand the feelings of others and then give inputs and solutions, understanding how you feel and what you believe. So that's pretty scary and interesting. So I thought would be a great name for the album, because that's what we live, uh, not in a personal level, and right, also in a musical level, that basically instrumental music is transmitting how I feel into notes and songs, and then you feel differently, or you're gonna feel what I feel, because and we have this communication through feelings, because music is basically uh, is it is an intangible art. It's not
Hmm.
a painting or sculpture. It's intangible, so it's all about how you feel. Um, and also have the AI there, the technology, and we as a cyborg post humans, that we need to have the phone always with us, right? To be human beings, we need the phone nowadays. Like impossible,
Yeah.
to do stuff. Um, so it's very hard to disconnect from the technology, and then so all this kind of help. helped me shape the songs, the concepts for the name of the songs, artwork, name of the album, um, the how to build the songs, the storyline of the set list, so the order of the running order of the song. All this came through those thoughts and reflections.
Do you feel, because you travel the world, and I feel there are like phones could be really great, like all technology, but it is in this theory of mine something that breaks, I feel, the communication when I see everyone when you're at concerts, everyone is filming and every in the suburb, everyone is looking at his phone, and no one cares about you. You could die on the floor and no one cares, you know?
So for sure, the addiction to technology is a thing. Is part of a is a point of no return. That's the name of the song.
Yeah.
So it is the addiction to lost in seconds. You're like completely lost in seconds is the name of the song. So you get into that scroll, and then you forget what is around. You're lost. You're like that. You're sucked into that technology, and then you have big problems with addiction, uh, social media addiction, technology addiction, video game addiction, porn addiction. It's all because of the technology. And then family disconnecting. You don't talk to your kids. You don't. People don't interact, and you don't talk to your friends anymore. And like our families in a table, everybody with their phones. So yes, and then you have the results of that, which is like people are more individualist. Uh, you see in music as well. You have less bands. People want to have their career on Instagram or YouTube, sharing what they play without playing with other people, without going to rehearsal room and have to deal and struggle discussing with the other musicians the way you want your song and things like that. It's very singular, right? It's very selfish in a way. But that's the society we live. And then we need to understand when you talk about the festivals and everybody's with their phone, yes, we have to understand that it's not more about the rock star guy or the hero there. It's about the whole ambience, the whole thing. And then you there with the rock star, that's not, it changes. And
Yeah.
then we have to understand, we as performers, we have to understand it's not much about us on stage, which would be cool. It's more about the whole thing. It's about the person that wants to show to their friends that the person is there in that place with that person playing there. That's why I have a lot of bands now with no with masks.
Yeah.
You even don't know who's behind that, because it's the whole entire vibe. And the biggest the artist is like Rammstein or like Sleep Token
Slipknot.
or Ghost
Slipknot.
or Slipknot. So we have this more like the environment. Even like if you go to Meshuggah concert, you don't see their faces, like it's like silhouettes and stuff, and creating that environment. And then you're just there for you to enjoy with your friends. So that's why festivals, they can be sold out without announcing the bands, because people want to be there and show to other people they're there. So it's just different times, and we need to understand how it goes and be part of it somehow. And as an artist and create music and stuff like that, I think it's good to be part of this new time. I was like, I came from the time CD times, right? So before vinyls, but
After vinyls.
yeah, sorry, after vinyls, and then, but I remember recording analog, the first Angra album. It was still analog, and then it's a different way of playing,
Yeah.
you know. So now it's the way you compose, the way to write music, the way you create. You have so many other possibilities, and there's a different moral as well. So back in the days when you could record digitally, you would never fake a play or copy paste a part
Hmm.
because it
No,
was a moral thing. Nobody would never know if you're copy pasting, but you wouldn't do it
no.
because it was a moral thing. I want to play the whole song, but now it doesn't matter. Just you play the part and copy paste the other parts.
Yeah.
That moral disappeared because it's part of the. It's the same when you go to with Megadeth, we have the moral that there's no instruments recorded, so we were playing everything, even if it would be hard to play or difficult. It's a moral thing. We're playing. There's no fake pre-recorded stuff, you know. But you see a lot of bands with a lot of pre-recorded stuff,
Backing tracks.
backing tracks, and it seems to be okay because it's not more about the if the person there on stage is able to play or not. It seems like, I'm trying to understand because it's an evolution. Yeah, but well, one thing was okay. When you talk about AI, and there is a lot of the artworks from Gustavo Sazes. So he did my previous album. He's a very great artist, kind of specialized on cover album covers, right?
Hmm.
Um, he lives in Portugal, and Gustavo Sazes. So you guys can check him out. He's great. So so he did all this by hand, with a real paint and digitally, whatever his magic, right? So the conversation was, okay, we need some. There's a lot of back and forth of ideas, and but because you have the AI that can do anything, you don't want to look like an AI cover. That maybe this AI could do something like that too. I don't know, but you want to have like the human touch.
It could be an AI thing,
Yeah, but it
right?
was not. But it was like ink and with digitalized and painting and the whole process. The same as my music, it could be AI, but it's not because I made it. Maybe it could be AI. I don't know. Every time I tried to try to use the AI making music, I always think it's
Did,
weird.
did you ask to Chat GPT?
What's the name of the web? The one with music. I put some stuff. Uh, it doesn't help me at all. For now, it doesn't help me at all. Maybe in a few years we'll be super good in terms of creating. I know it's amazing to see like, oh, you can write a rock ballad in E minor and make it whatever, and then it's here we have a rock ballad in E minor, like done. Uh, this is amazing, but it's like it's not the rock ballad that I was imagining that I want. It's not, and so so far I prefer to, if I want to do a rock ballad, let's say in E minor, I would listen to many rock ballads that I have a connection with,
Hmm.
that I remember, like, oh, when I was teenager, this one. What about this one? So whatever I like, I would listen to this. Like, okay, I want to try to write something like this, and then I would sit down and try, not to copy, but to be inspired by those ideas, and then see what comes from me. And I think this is more magical in a way. And also it's the pleasure of doing it and doing things. It's the pleasure of building something. You
Yeah.
know. Uh, so when you have this pleasure of building something, is a different. You give different value because I
And
can type now 100 songs. AI, give me 100 songs for a new album that goes from this style, and then I have in 5 minutes. But then, like, there's no for me. There's no value.
yeah, like in painting or. But when we think about AI, because I was born in the 70s, I think about sci-fi, of course. Are you inspired also by sci-fi movies like
Not really.
not
No,
really?
no. This is not. It's more like about the conversation that's happening now. You
Mm.
know, not all sci-fi movies or that. Yeah, I know it's super cool. I know some people are like really into it. I don't get influenced by that. I did get influenced by reading and watching stuff about the new conversation about AI. Yes, and then also the psychology side of the theory of mind. That's
Yes.
yeah.
And the way the way the AI learns from the human side and from itself, right?
Hmm.
You know, but it always remind me Blade Runner, you know, and
Hmm.
in the future maybe we will not know if it's a human or a robot. You know, I have this in
Totally.
mind, and the
Yeah.
same psychology maybe, or maybe the robots will be better than humans. Who knows?
Yeah, I think they're better already. The technology. I mean, if you ask you to do a math calculation, I mean, the my phone can do it faster. So
Yeah,
many things it's better. I can zoom with my camera and reach like far away that my eyes cannot.
yeah,
And like anything you can. That's why we're like a cyborgs because uh, we need the technology. Before we need to memorize dates and studying history at school we need to memorize dates and names and all that, and then now it's like you just ask Siri like what's the name of this guy.
yeah,
What when so we already live and we need that to don't tell me about the maps. I live in Finland. Come on, what about living in Finland without the Google translator? I wouldn't survive.
yeah.
I use all the time the Google. It's like, what is this? It's like go with the phone to translate stuff. So I feel like a cyborg here. It's like I don't know the language, and I can read everything.
Yeah.
I can interact. I can how do you say that? So
Except Kipis.
the keeps I know, yeah, yeah. But but that's not really. It helps, but I would love to be like fluent in 20 languages. Imagine that. I
Yeah.
just need time, but it's possible. Um, to be fluent. Parler français maintenant, and right. So I think the technology can help us. Is already there, helping us a lot. In music, is the same. We have the computer. You can some little things that we use all the time. I want to feel this music in a different key. You can just press and then change the key. I want to feel like a little bit faster. So I don't need to replay the song. You just play a little bit faster and the computer calculates how is the song a bit faster. Can I change the drums here and isolate the drums and change the drums, but not to the right? You can do those things. And this helps a lot to compose, to check yeah, imagine like you can ask the computer to orchestrate something super simple, and then you can hear right away, like, how would you sound this with an orchestra? And then, oh, amazing. Oh, let's go to the orchestra way, you know? So, what about like using the reverb that Beatles used to have? Would cost a fortune, and now it's not. So you can do all that, and much more, and much more. You can have. Oh, now we can even do this interview with a. We can put the interviews
Without
question and
us.
without us, and then the AI creates like a very nice podcast with Kiko. Right? It's totally possible, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
For me, it's like giving a pill to so you don't need to eat anymore. So okay, I take this pill, I don't need to eat anymore. So it's great. It's going to be very helpful. So if I'm very busy on that day, I take the pill. I don't need to eat. I don't need to stop, and great. If people you can end all the hunger in the world, nobody's starving anymore. Great. But also, you're going to destroy all the family meetings around the table, all
Mm.
the nice moments with your friends, eating, a croissant, or like a fromage or having a glass of wine in Bordeaux, so like, or Saint-Emilion, So, so, so you're gonna destroy that? No, I don't want the pill for that. So I think the music is more like this. I have the pleasure of creating and playing, and then hopefully I find ways to have the AI to be a better composer.
And what about playing live? Could it be possible?
Yeah, that's the idea, to play those songs live. I'm already booking for next year the European tour, so soon we're gonna have the dates, second semester, and I'm going to Brazil in May. So soon I'm gonna announce the tour, the dates, and I'm checking all the possibilities too. So yeah, so everything next year. But and then for now, I'm posting the videos and promoting the songs that I think online you can reach a lot of people. You can promote your songs in a very good way as well.
You know that there was some tour with Satriani. It's called J3 or J4, I suppose.
Yeah, G3. Yeah,
Yeah, would you do that maybe with other guitarists or?
of course. Yeah, that's an amazing idea. So anytime just that anyone to invite me, I'm ready. Actually, I was no, I was talking to him like last week, like some emails. Not about this, because he's. Uh, I have him as a great inspiration, recording songwriting, and then he heard my album and he sent me an email like giving great compliments, and then I was like feeling it's really good, it's good feeling to get like one of your guitar heroes saying that he liked your album and stuff like that. But yes, like of course I'm following. I've been following Joe Satriani and or Eric Johnson or Steve Vai, which is the first lineup
Yeah.
of the G3. So of course for me would be like ultimate goal in life to be part and play with them. And I remember watching G3 in Paris.
Yeah?
Yeah,
In Zenith?
Zenith.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Obrigado.
Merci beaucoup. Et à bientôt.
À bientôt. Take care.
Yes.
Bye bye.